What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 93 and I'm so excited for today's episode because we are starting off with the first leg of the Europa League semi-final against Newcastle United, coming on the back of our slip-up away in Turin against Torino, which effectively has given Inter Milan the title. That was my 300th game in charge and it did not end the way I wanted. When you look at the win percentage there, it's not that great, is it? It's like, what, like 60%? Maybe my maths is really bad, but it's not that great. But you know what? I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is one of the reasons why I'm really loving FIFA this year, and I'm so glad you guys can tell in my voice how much I'm enjoying it as well. It's such a brilliant game this year because the challenge is so much greater than in previous years. EA have really revamped Ultimate, and I give them props for that. Still, first game of today's episode. Again, could not wait for it. Newcastle United away, St James's Park, Europa League semi-final, first leg. And after avoiding Liverpool and Dortmund, I gotta say, I felt fortunate to have the Magpies who we had in the group, but like I mentioned, a 4.5 star team, I didn't think it was going to be a walkover. But that's why from the very first whistle, I thought don't take anything for granted. We might be the firm favourites, don't get me wrong, we have been in inconsistent form lately. I've got to go out there and be in attack mode, be assertive, be aggressive, right from the very first whistle. It's safe to say I was holding up that bargain. Holding my end of the bargain, yeah. I was really going for it in the early stages here against Newcastle United. I had so many early chances, but I just couldn't squeeze the ball past their back line. They were playing really congested defense and just could not find space to get away a clear shot. Whenever I did, it tended to be a pretty simple save. But 35 minutes in, after we were standing heavy pressure, we got the one golden chance I was looking for, and it fell to the right man as well. Of course, if we were going to take the lead in the northeast, who was it going to be? Roberto, the goal machine Gutierrez. I love this goal as well. The offload between Timmermans and Gutierrez. The quick little 1-2 there to send Rob through. And the clinical finish as well. That is his 9th goal, by the way, in the Europa League. I've mentioned it. There's a chance, it's a slight chance, don't get me wrong, but there's a chance he could win all 3 golden boots this year. Serie A, which is looking very likely to be his, Coppa Italia and Europa League as well. It's a slight chance. He needs to be really on it in the Coppa Italia final and in this competition get a few more as well. But what I love about Rob, and I've said it before, whilst he's an out-and-out goal scorer, he's also a team player. First half, he and Elias link up for the first goal. Second half, 20 minutes to go, he and Elias link up for the second goal. Timmermans, who in this game, to be fair, was looking like the best player on the pitch. The young Belgian we signed on free transfer. Played a really high press against Newcastle here, as you can see, to win the ball back really high at the pitch. Once we won it back through Tielemans there, Rob slides through Timmermans, and it's a really good finish by the Belgian to make it 2 and double our lead as well. High press sometimes can be a dangerous move against the AI, especially on Ultimate when their passing is so high. But it's high risk and it's high reward at times as well. So yeah, 2-0, the high press pays off there. And then 5 minutes after, we play a really sensible advantage here. After a little trip, we go on the break. Theo storms down the left-hand side. He is so rapid, goes all the way, cuts it across, and on the penalty spot with the first touch. And the finish as well. Who's there to wrap the game up in the northeast of England? It's not Roberto, it's the young Belgian in a coming-of-age performance in the Europa League semi-final. First leg against the Magpies. Timmermans with the brace, 3-0 AC Milan. And like I said, when the tie was drawn, I felt firm favourites for it. I didn't want to be too dismissive of the Magpies' chance, because again, they've done really well to form an identity, become a 4.5 star side. And if you remember with Brentford, we had some really good battles with them over the years. To be fair, they beat us on a couple of occasions, and it was always quite tricky going to St James's Park. Never a ground I liked going to as the visiting team, but I feel like with our Milan side, and you see the stats here, an XG of 5, I just thought, like, you know what, I've just got to be really imposing in this game. And I think that's the right thing to do as well. When you're like firm favourites for a European tie, even if you're away from home in the first leg, just go out there, you know, like be really assertive. And I don't think you should rest on your laurels either, because as Liverpool thrashed Dortmund by 3-0 in their first leg away in Germany, I really do feel as though sometimes like overconfidence can lead to complacency. So I really feel if you switched on from the very first whistle, as you see our fixtures for May here, our final 4 league games, Hellas Verona, Napoli away, Juve and Cagliari away, and lest we forget too, the Europa League semi-final second leg and the Coppa Italia final as well. Yeah, I really do feel as though being imposing from the very first whistle and just being in attack mode, if you get an early goal, it relieves so much pressure, and then after that you can sort of play I don't know, just again with a lot less nerves, a lot less doubt in your mind that you might possibly have a slip up. Be attack minded from the first whistle. That's always my philosophy in Europa League ties, Champions League ties, away from home in the first leg, especially if you're favourites as well. Don't just rest on the fact you're favourites. No, go at them and show them why you're the favourite. So anyway, following game, as you can see, heading into the game, I briefly showed the league table there. It's over. It is officially and mathematically confirmed. Inter Milan are champions of the Serie A, and you know, I've got to be honest here. I think they might have led the league for the entire season. Now, as we draw this game against Hellas Verona, the only noteworthy thing in this game was the injury to Duarte. Unfortunately, he broke his toe. Sorry, no, he didn't. He broke his toe. He dislocated his shoulder. That's a totally different part of the body, docs, mate. He dislocated his shoulder. He's done for 2 months. I've liked the guy this year, to be fair. He's only 23 years old, Portuguese winger. Decent little inside forward with that left boot there. But, yeah, you know, I feel as though Inter Milan might have led the league from match day 1, because I can't remember a time when they weren't top. All season long, I think they've been top. It's been an incredible show of dominance from Inter this year, and there's no doubt about it, worthy winners of the Serie A. But you know what? Alright, fine. It's gone. Of course, I'd like second, but if we finish in third, it's not really a big deal. Whether Lazio pip us to second, that's totally fine, because third will still give us the top 4 in the Champions League. The most important thing now is what comes on Thursday night. You would have seen in the weekend my team against Hellas Verona rested the vast majority of my team, because this game, of course, is going to be far more important. Europa League semi-final, second leg. We won the first leg 3-1, so it wasn't all over heading into this tie. And if the Magpies got an early goal, then it could have totally blown the tie wide open. Instead, with a fully fit, fresh and strong first 11, well, he haunted them at St James's, and then 35 minutes into the game, after a great imposing start like I talk about, Elias Timmermans, who bagged a brace in England, gets the open here as well. It's a brilliant header by the young man, beats 2 Newcastle shirts in the air, and Freddie Woodman into the top corner as well. Elias Timmermans is coming of age when it matters most. I love this young kid, man, I really do. So good. I tell you as well, the amount of free agents that are available this year that are young new gen / regens in the game, there's an abundance of them. There's so many this year. Your options are plentiful. There are so many. We've got Timmermans in this year, and he has been an absolute bargain buy on a free. Now, the Moroccan forward, the former Sevilla man, would make it 1-1. Newcastle back in the game right before the break, 1-1. So they weren't giving up, to be fair. Eddie Howe side continued to press and look for chances to get back in this tie. But to be fair, despite the goal, just like in the first leg at St James's, we were the far better side. Hudson-Odoi probably should have restored our lead, hitting the post from a tough volley to back stick, keeping it at 1-1, and then 10 minutes after the restart here, the Magpies looking to get in front for the first time in the game. And Nesri, who's continued to cause me problems all game long, the former Sevilla forward, really tough to stop. This was brilliant though. Fantastic block by Francisco initially, and then the rebound shot, well saved by Mike at the near post. I've given him some criticism this year, to be fair, Mike, but he's won me a lot more games than he's lost me. So, yeah, 1-1 the final score. We draw in Milan at the San Siro. Not a win, which means that in all competitions, our run has still been incredibly inconsistent, but the 1-1 draw is enough for us to send us through to the Europa League final. 4-2, over 2 legs. We were the favourites, we were the better team in both legs, and we deserved to go through to the Europa League final. And there it is, our first ever Europa League final of the series. It'll come in season 6 with AC Milan. And when you see who we've got, oh my god, what year is this? Boy, what year is this? It's unbelievable. Milan versus Liverpool in a European final. What is this, 2005, 2007? What year is this? I love it. We've got Liverpool in the Europa League final. I've got to say, I think we're probably underdogs for that one. This is our first year with Milan with a completely new set of players, other than Santos and Gutierrez, of course, but a completely new set of players, completely new play style. We've been really inconsistent throughout lots of the season. I mean, yeah, definitely we're both 5-star teams. Definitely there'll be a chance of us winning that one. I'd love to win a European trophy in my first year with Milan, and back-to-back European trophies. It'll be extra sweet knowing it'll be a Europa League as well. That's one thing we haven't won yet in this series. We didn't win that with Brentford. We spent 1 year in the Europa League, and of course, as we know, we were knocked out in the quarters by Fiorentina. I'd love to win it, but to be honest here, if it's the Europa League or the Coppa Italia, one will do me. You know, I said at the start of the season, I don't need a treble. I know the board wants it, but I'll take one. Just one major honour. Coppa Italia, Europa League or Serie A. Well, the latter went a while ago, I'd say. But we've got a chance at a European and domestic cup double. But if it's only one, I don't mind which one it is. I'll give my all in both, of course, but I think we've got more chance of winning the Coppa Italia at this point, I would say. Anyway, following game, Napoli, Stadio San Paolo, again, totally meaningless now. All that matters is where we finish in second or third, which again means nothing. You know, both teams going to the Champions League group stage in the Serie A, so again, this game really meant nothing to me whatsoever. Of course, I wanted to win it though, and see if I could get Robin to the 30 club, which I did. He scored a hat-trick in this game, 9 minutes to go, got our third in what was a really dominant display from our Uruguayan captain. So yeah, Gutierrez with goals 29, 30 and 31 in this game here, and I got to say as well, it was really bizarre because I had a bit of a mixed team out there, but I was just sort of on fire. I mean, it was really weird because we absolutely thrashed them away in Naples. We were 4-0 up with 3.5 minutes to go. Bolde getting a rare appearance in this game, coming off the bench to bag our fourth, and whilst unfortunately, spoilers here, we would lose the clean sheet in the closing stages. How often does this happen in FIFA? You're closing out a game, you're in complete control, and then you just give away the clean sheet right in the dying stages. It's so frustrating. Didn't matter, of course, still won the game, but 4 in the final score, Rob with a hat-trick, that's now 31 goals to see as well. It's really bizarre because, you know, you saw in the run-up to the final stages of the Serie A season when we were still chasing Inter Milan, and we still had that outside chance of catching Inzaghi's side. We were slipping up at home to Hellas Verona and Bologna and away at Torino. And then against Napoli away, we absolutely thrashed them by 4 goals. And I think what it might have been a case of is pressure. You know, I feel like I still had a bit of pressure on my back, knowing as we were coming towards the closing stages, there was still the minor chance we could catch Inter Milan, and I just couldn't handle the pressure. Yet now we know that mathematically it's been confirmed, Inter Milan are champions with games to spare. I think now it's like, well, it's over, so I can't do anything, so I might as well just play very relaxed, and maybe that's what gets the best results. I don't know, but still, for the final game of today's episode, penultimate one of the Serie A season, and our final game at the San Siro this year, Juventus, the old lady, last season's champions, giving up the throne to Inter Milan this year. Heading into the game, once again, a totally rotated side, because we had the Coppa Italia final on Thursday, and I wanted a fully fit, fresh, fighting first 11 for that game. Well, again, it was like the game in Naples. I was expecting to lose the game because of my team selection. In the end, we won it by 1-0. I kept Gutierrez out there just because there was a slight chance of him catching the record, but it's officially gone now. With 15 minutes to go, we won it through Julius Schneider, played some lockdown defence, and we get back-to-back wins away against Napoli and at home to what were the champions Juventus. Yeah, why couldn't we have played like that all season long? As you can see, 1 game to go, 10 points to get. We've guaranteed second, so Lazio will take third. However, it wouldn't have mattered either way. Second or third, or if we won those games back-to-back, wouldn't have mattered either way. They both give you the same result. But what's most important now, 2 cup finals. Forget the final Serie A game away against Cagliari. It means absolutely nothing. But the Coppa Italia final, that comes first. Thursday, Inter Milan, best team in Italy, a Milan derby for the cup final. It is fitting it ends like this. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you for the following episode of Career Mode, the Coppa Italia final against Inter Milan very soon.